Good evening, friends. How are you all? Today we will discuss about relay electrical general estimating. How to do it. So, estimating is an art by which an estimator can get an approximation of the material, investment involved, and the time to be taken for the completion of electrification project. It is the definition from somewhere, but actually completion of electrification project is not connected with the railway electrification because the quantum of material with its price, that is the main issue in the railway electrical general estimate. And time is assessed, and that is introduced in the tender documents. What is the completion period of the project? So mainly the railway electrical general estimate, you will assess the material, the quantity, the price, and the price must be authentic. That means it must be from authorized documents. Means in railway we are accepting the previous tenders who has offered the tender his price, not one only one, but you have to take three of these, and then the average value you have to take, or lowest value you have to take. This is the system, the latest railway letter of acceptance. That means when railway is preparing the tender documents with the estimate, they are the tender is giving offer and the lowest offer is accepted, and in this way these three letter of acceptance we have to scrutinize or check, and we may take three average of the three or lowest of the three, but it will be very close. I want to say that it will be near past. That means latest letter of acceptance is best, so that time can be as a time is also a factor. The present market rate can be included. Also also, with the present market rate, if it is earlier, some items are there which is uncommon or very rarely we are implementing, so we can take from past estimate, not too much past, the latest one better to take, and then we are doing escalation. Escalation means the present market rate we can calculate from the net, so we are giving it. Another way is some item is new, so you can take the market rate by requisition, by net, from standard company. So many processes are there. This is the system to make an estimate. Now, what we are preparing the estimate, then this is abstract estimate. It is vetted, and after acceptance of railway board, it is coming into the pink book if it is a project is big. And after that, if we have to call a tender, notice inviting tender, and we are calling a tender, open tender mainly, and this open tender will include this estimation cost if it is feasible. Otherwise, we will make some changes. We will prepare up to make it accurate as far as possible. It is not possible to make it 100% accurate, but you try to make it accurate your requirement. But there are so many systems. Suppose your material is less than your requirement, so railway can able to pay 25% more of the cost in the same rate. But above that, you have the cost will vary. Also, so we can make the estimate somewhat 10% extra. Generally, there is no hard and fast rule, but we are making the requirement and creating 10% extra of the quantity, so that it may meet if the more material is required as far as possible. Otherwise, it can vary up to 25% of the same cost. Now, this estimate, so many estimates you can do as per the site. Also, after completion of work, also you can make estimate the final estimate. So many ways are open in railway. But in every stage, we try to make it as accurate as far as possible, so that minimum changes may occur. Now, how to prepare electrical estimate for railway electrical general? For this, you need the engineering law knowledge of electrical general, which we are reading in the our college level in engineering. That is sufficient to assess this. Moreover, in the internet, so many guidelines are there for this electrical general, because it is a common thing. Lighting and air conditioning, these are all the domestic type work. Platform lighting, station lighting, giving power supply. So it's not a big work. But for railway overhead system and substation, it is somewhat separate. You need your own knowledge for it. Okay. So electrical general is not a big thing to prepare an estimate. Now, previous video I have given you the pro forma for the tender schedule. That means after estimate we are preparing tender schedule. This tender schedule must be without ambiguity. That means tenderer will read it. So if they cannot clear the item, the specification, they will suffer. So as far as possible, you must be specific to that item, so that tenderer can purchase it easily, or it may be railway supply, it may be railway store supply. So many sites are there, but you have to provide it. Another thing is, in electrical system, something will we have to transport something, we have to work under power switch off, that is power block charges. So many things you have to decide. Okay, so take we can take an example of 11 kV distribution line to feed railway station with a 11 kV to 3 phase 4 hour 440 volt or 400 volt transformer. So you have to include the transformer, the distribution line items. You all know the distribution line items in 11 kV. So it's not a big thing. You can do it easily. Then after the transfer you have to distribute your power. So first thing you need what? You need panel board, because some circuit needs some type of power supply, some and separate circuit, separate power supply. Suppose somewhere you have given 63 ampere, somewhere you have given 32 ampere, somewhere you have given 16 ampere, somewhere you have given 100 ampere, somewhere you have given 200, 300 ampere. So according to your power requirement, you have to be specific for this estimate. What type of control panel you require to feed the power supply. And another thing is high mass tower system. That means in road lighting we have seen high mass tower in the crossing. For high mass tower also we can use feeder pillar, another item. We have to assess this feeder pillar, what type of power supply we will give. Mainly for feeding in a separate circuit we may have feeder pillar to feed the high mass tower. Then road lighting also, in approach road you have to give power supply, make it separate, and all sectioning will be done such a way that a particular section will be, if affect due to fault, then other portion will be live. That system we have to provide. So we are using RCCB. So a circuit may be tripped due to fault, but it will not affect the other circuit. Not affect the other circuit. In the same way, we can provide MCB, MCCB, main switch, so many things. And in railway system specialty is we need uninterrupted power supply as far as possible, mainly for signal. So what is the alternatives? We are taking power supply from local authorities, but it is, local authorities is somewhat what? Not reliable. So our overhead traction power supply, this 25 kV OHE, it is used for commercial purpose and it has reliability. So we are using auxiliary transformers. Auxiliary transformers, that is from 25 kV to we are converting single phase to 20 volt. It is not three phase, simply single phase to 20 volt or 230 volt. Another option with local power supply, this option is there. Then diesel generator set. Then diesel generator set. That is also another option. Then other option is or battery backup of the signal, for the signal battery backup. So we are using changeover switch. Somewhere it is automatic changeover switch or somewhere it is manual changeover switch. Which power supply is available, you have to give that power supply, but mainly you try to avoid AC supply, though it is reliable, make it in local. And when local supply will go, you may use you can use traction supply, this 25 kV, and if it is also failed, then you can use diesel generator set supply. If it is also failed, the battery, for signal only the battery will give you supply. And for station lighting platform, we are mainly use 30% of it in the night time when power supply is not sufficient. So 30% power supply you can give. But there is no hard and fast rule, but better to keep 30% platform lighting for not important stations. Important station has so many options. They are using UPS. So this is the power supply. Then the three-phase system local supply is three-phase four-wire. So you have to, for building lighting, some building lighting, you have to distribute these three phases so that all phases will be equally loaded. But some portion is very much important. There you have to give local supply as well as this AT supply or diesel generator supply. So for some important places you give these three supply: diesel generator, our traction supply that is 25 from 25 to 220 volt, and local supply is available, then local supply will continue. So another thing is distribution of three phases in the buildings. Then you have to separate the power circuit, that means air conditioning, geyser. This thing, this circuit will be separate so that it will not affect the other circuit. It will not affect the other circuit. Then other lighting circuit is somewhat easy, and mm, and for street light normally we are using 120-watt LED lighting, or summer it is not 45 would also use, summer it is also used 90-watt. So according to the requirement you have to design it. And for electric pole we are using octagonal pole for street light. It may be 7 meter, maybe 6 meter. And spacing also you have to design the street light. Normally height into 2.5 to 3 your spacing of the lighting pole, these octagonal poles. So this is the basic idea for the electrical general. Later I will show you some sample of the estimate, and today is up to this. Thank you friends. Friends, I have given you a sample of estimate. You see, erection of LED 2 into 18 by 20 watt T8 indoor type tube light fitting. These are all for lighting purposes. Erection of 1 into 820 watt, that is also same. Erection of energy efficient 5-star rating AC ceiling fan. Okay, with regulator. These are all domestic things, so you can assess it. If you read in electrical engineering, maybe polytechnic, maybe degree, you can do it easily. Even ITI can also do it. So this is not a big thing. You try. If you try, you can do it. But first you have to know the system of lighting, that engineering. First you need what? First you need to arrange power supply. Power is the life in human body, soul. So first power supply, then its isolation, then its earthing. If required, you have to earth it with earthing hill. Then you need a transformer also for stepping down it if the voltage is higher. Then the main isolation, then sectioning. Sectioning is a big thing where you, which circuit you will provide. You have to divide in some circuits, and your isolation should be according to that. Okay, so circuit, then you have to separate the power circuit. That means this air conditioning, 15 ampere plug, geyser, then fridge. All these things you have to keep in power circuit from the other side. Then high must tower circuit, it must be also separate. So you have to decide some building circuit, that is also the three phase wiring must be distributed. This is the basic things. Okay friends, the next slide you see what they have given. Your estimate or tender schedule must be complete with all materials for drawing this cable, for erection of this, everything you have to include all the items. But it is very difficult for a office man if he does not work in field. So to prepare a good estimate, you need the field experience, you need the office experience. Both are required. So better in first service, go to the field and learn it first. Then you come, your age will increase and come to the office. But I never worked in the office. That is my drawback. I worked in the field side only, like traction power control take 10 years. TRD training school 6 years. And in open line 8 TRD 9 years. 9.5 years. And then divisional electrical engineer 2 years. And few years I have worked for 6 months, 2 months, various field offices like remote control, vehicle section, then store, then OHE depot. So I never worked in the office like a technical assistant or chief technical. So no man you will get that he know everything, but your basic idea and some practical experience will help you to become complete. Friends, thank you today. Goodbye.